That's Kapichat! That's Kapichat! That's Kapichat!
Hello.
Oh, hello.
Sorry, I'm just running late, just on the bus home.
Yeah, I've noticed you're
Nearly.
at Ace because it's not moving, is it? I'm at the bar already. But
Yeah, I'm nearly home. I've just top of the road, nearly there.
do you know why? Do you know why bus seats are always ridiculous patterns like that?
Bad design.
No, thanks, guess.
I don't know.
So they can hide all the grime and dirt,
Oh,
dead skin and blood and vomit.
hang on,
Spittle.
couple of lads. What lads? What? Am I in a band? Yeah, that's Capitans. Yeah. Oh, rude. Rude.
Microwave Neil.
There's Lewis and Lloyd. Rude.
Got a
Rude.
trivia question for you.
Yep.
Sport.
Yep.
Who is the only person to have captained England whilst playing in the third division?
Are we football? Are we on? Oh, it's just sport. I need a clue.
It would be football though, wouldn't they? So, but it's just sport. It's captained England whilst playing in the third division. In the meantime, do you want a drink while I'm there?
Yeah. Got any Ribena?
Let me see if I move that. Yeah, there's no. I think it's just alcohol.
I'll have an alcohol then, please.
And alcohol. There's a pint
Yeah.
pursuit lager. Do you want one of those?
Yeah, that'd be nice, thank you.
Yeah. There's some beans on offer by the looks of it, so you can. I presume baked beans on toast is what they're talking
Beans on
about.
offer. Lovely.
Um,
We'll talk about your tea in a minute. Actually, I'm I'll just go get off the bus. I'm home now. I'll be back in a minute.
right, so
Just got to go down here to get off the bus. With you in a minute. Just walking home.
All right.
Right.
All right. You could have brought the camera with you.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, I see you
I'm
back to your
home.
bed.
Yeah.
You used to bring me flowers. Do you know that reference?
Third division. No. Third division, Captain England. I haven't got a clue. I need to know what sport.
Why?
Because it could be anything. It could be table tennis. It could be hockey. It could be fishing.
Played football third division
Football third division. But Captain England.
in England.
So what century are we in? What decade?
It's, probably 1980s, possibly early.
Brian
1990s.
Robson.
Oh, he was Man United and Middlesbrough, wasn't he? That's all he. You know,
Don't know what you have for tea. I'll come back to that.
I made paella. Paella.
You like your paella, don't you?
In tribute to James from the last interview.
Spanish James. Yeah, I've seen on Facebook people are asking, well, what are you? Are you an animal or are you Spanish? We didn't actually answer that question, did we?
No, we didn't. But his English was quite good.
For a Spanish man, it was quite good.
Oh, there wasn't any animal or Spanish hint to it. He's coming on in a minute, right? Do you want me to give you the answer quickly? Because I've got something
Yeah,
to do.
Yeah.
Right, the answer is Ian Botham.
So he was playing football for a third division side, whilst he England.
Captained England for cricket.
Oh,
Playing for Scunthorpe in the summertime.
Bloody hell. Well, we've got another sideways. We've got another sideways. Same gag as last time.
I think it'd be better upside down.
Hello.
Yeah. Neil, can you hear us?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yeah, well, you're sideways.
Your hair's incredibly stiff. It's not falling down. I thought it would fall down being that angle. There we go.
There we go.
I think you've missed Steve's gag where he said it looked better for upside down. Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, did he say that? Sorry.
I did. We were too busy talking before you came on. I was going to put my picture upside down and see, because that would have been a hilarious introduction.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I wish that I could say that I planned that joke sideways, but I'm afraid I didn't. Just me being stupid.
No.
No, second interview in a row that's happened, so that's fine. 2 out of 3.
You've just, we were busy having a chat there. You've just appeared out of nowhere, so you've thrown us. If you can just bear with us for a minute, we'll just sort ourselves out and get ready.
Ian Botham is the answer.
Ian Botham. It was Ian Botham. You'll find out what we're on about if you watch this back, Neil. Ian Botham, though, is the answer to the question.
Isn't he always the answer to the question?
I don't want to live in a world where he's not the answer to the question.
Right.
Especially with a webcam. Didn't he do naughty things on a webcam?
Was that Jamie Theakston?
No, Ian Botham still.
Did Jamie Theakston play cricket?
No, I'm still talking about Ian Botham. Where did you get Jamie Theakston from? Ian Botham was caught with his old chap out on the webcam and it was on the newspaper.
His cock.
Basically, yeah.
Wow.
Little Botham.
Well,
Hi, Neil.
Sorry, Neil. We're just talking penises. I know you. We'll talk about them later because I know you are a fan of the penis. Anyway, Neil. Steve, you need to do the introduction. You're better at the introductions than me.
Yeah, this is Neil. He's in Ice Cream Headache. He is Cliff Hazzard. He is an amazing guitarist, amazing singer-songwriter. He's the font of all knowledge of avant-garde music. And all-round good guy. Neil.
What have you...
What do I say to an introduction like that?
Well,
hello.
Hello.
Yeah.
Just hello.
Yeah. Before I just wanted to say that I'm really humbled and grateful that you asked me to appear on your show. Would you call it a show? Is it a show?
I suppose it could be, yeah.
This thing.
This thing.
Yes.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you on, Neil. And I've all day in my head I've been calling you because I say your name over and over in my head quite a lot during the day, and all day I've been calling you Neil Sullivan in my head. That's not your name, is it?
No, isn't he a snooker player?
No, that's Ronnie.
Oh, that's Ronnie.
Sullivan. Oh.
Neil Robertson. That's the one I was thinking of.
Okay. Ian Botham.
You call me what you like, really. I don't.
Are you okay? You're okay with being Neil Sullivan occasionally? Is that all right? Yeah. We've lost him a little bit. Oh, we've lost him.
Where is he? Where is he? Where is he?
Hello?
He's frozen. Oh.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Hello?
Can you hear us?
Yes. Can you hear me?
You sound a bit like a robot. Oh, man. See,
All right,
so
we can...
Hello?
Say something lovely.
Kapichat is the greatest band in the entire world.
There we go. We can hear you. Perfect.
I think we're back, aren't we?
Yeah, I think we're back on.
Okay.
Yeah, just don't move too quick.
Yeah.
Cool. So we're back.
We're back.
Okay.
Minor technical difficulties, but we're back.
Cool. Neil, let's chat. Let's das Kapichat.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you can hear us. So here we go. This is good. This is good. When did it all start, Neil? When did your life start? When did you first get a guitar?
Well, I've loved music as far back as I can remember, actually. I remember going on a day with my parents. Actually, it's going to make me feel really nostalgic talking about it. I'm a sucker for nostalgia as it is. I used to go on to the caravan site, what was it called? Manor Park in Stanton. And I remember there was a jukebox, and I would always play what is it? I found my thrill on Blueberry Hill. That was the first song I think I ever heard. I can't tell you how old it was, but I know I was super, super young. And I think that for some reason that was the first song I ever heard. And then I was at primary school, so I would have been under 11 years old, and I played the trombone. And I knew absolutely nothing about any instruments. And funnily enough, I still can't play the trombone. I couldn't then, and I can't now. But anyway, I started playing it, and I think the first CD I got was I think it was the Glenn Miller Band, something like that. Anyway, and I just fell in love with all the songs in there. I never worked out how to play any of it on the trombone, and I felt like I had this passion, this love for music at the age of, like, I don't know, 9 or 10 or something like that, and trying to play this. Oh, by the way, is swearing allowed?
Fine. It's fine.
Who fucking
Swear
right
away.
it is. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And then I kind of got a bit disillusioned with this, thinking this isn't getting me anywhere. And I'm the youngest of 6.
Wow.
So there was always kind of, and all of my 6, I think that sounds right, something like that. And there's always, they all had different influences and that they loved, and so I always was surrounded by loads of different music all the time. And I remember I would have been 10, and my sister just bought Park Life by Blur, which is still one of my crucial records now. I still love it just as much now as I ever have. And I remember just opening it up and seeing I think I don't know if you both have this album. I'm sure you you have, Simon. The album, it's kind of got, you can, how to play the song, it's got like the chord structures and stuff like that. And I couldn't play guitar, but I was like, this is really amazing. And I listened to it, and I think the song on there that really inspired me to suddenly want to play guitar is London Loves.
Good song.
So when I first heard that song, there was something about it that I really, really loved. And then I think I was 12 when I finally got a guitar. It was a piece of shit guitar that was just, I don't know, it didn't have a name on it. It was just this red thing. It looked kind of a bit like surfboards that someone who was going to build surfboards, if they was going to make a prototype and a miniature version and show it to someone to say, can you make me a big version of that? It looks like what that might look like if someone was to make that, but it was red. And then, yeah, and because I've always, pardon?
That sounds amazing. Simon would still play one of those.
Well, I've always had a problem with learning, and I've always been a slow learner. It wasn't years later until I got diagnosed with dyslexia, and I was like, oh, okay, this makes sense now. I struggled at school, and then I got to college, and I'm like, you've got dyslexia, by the way. So that made lots of sense. I can talk. I'll go more into that later. But so I had guitar lessons for a while. And I just remember being like 12 or 13, playing along to the whole of the Park Life album. And then, because although I am a slow learner, I am someone who likes to kind of learn through research and stuff like that. So I'll be like, oh, so I wonder who inspired Graham Coxon? And then I discovered that he was really into Robert Fripp and King Crimson. And as soon as I heard Robert Fripp and King Crimson, I was like, oh, I just had one of those moments where I was like, oh, wow. This is magical. And then that kind of spurred me on to all this kind of progressive music that I really love. And when I was kind of learning, when I got into my sort of mid to late teens, I started to learn kind of music theory. That's kind of like odd time signatures and like different modal scales, which I try to incorporate in all the music that we do. Yeah. So yeah, and ever since then, I've just always trying to find who is inspired by who's inspired by who, and who's influenced, and dissect the songs and work out the time signatures and the scales and stuff like that, because I just love it so much.
Yeah,
you are, I don't know if you'll agree, Neil, but you are a brilliant guitarist. Every time we kind of see you or hear you, it's like obviously you can play guitar really fucking well. And we touched on this the other day in a text message with each other about being a musician, how that I certainly don't consider myself to be a musician. I mean, I can't play guitar anywhere near as well as you can, but I don't consider myself a musician, despite the fact we're releasing like 12 albums this year and I'm in bands and things like that. And you said about that as well, about not feeling like a musician, or what does that mean? What is it? What are you? What are you, Neil?
I don't know. I have kind of like a list of philosophies I kind of live by myself just to kind of keep me in check, and I'll go through them if you would like, because it's related to the question that you asked. So I think it is. There's 5. There might be 6. I think there's 5. There's laughter, orgasms. Don't take yourself too seriously. Be creative, and don't self-analyze too much, because I think if you self-analyze, you can often end up in that kind of conundrum, like you said, like, what am I? Who am I? Am I a musician? And I think for a long time I tried to sort of think, you know, am I a musician? I never really felt like one, and yet I feel this compulsion and this intensity and need, almost like a hunger. Like, so imagine, you know, when a vampire, what do they call it? The thirst. I kind of sort of have that. I'm not alone in this. I know I spoke to other people like this need to express and to create. And I mean, I've never really considered myself an artist, like painter kind of artist, not artiste, a painter, until I recently saw, I won't name any names, but a famous person who considers himself an artist started posting loads of stuff on Instagram of their own artwork, and I was like, I can do that. So then I, you know, and so I kind of started to do that, and but then again, I still don't really feel like an artist, and I take pictures, and some of my pictures are nice, even most of them are upside down. I never really consider myself a photographer, and it's the same for like playing guitar. I don't really feel like a musician, but then what is a musician supposed to feel like? And
Well,
I can get
it linked to with musician and artist. Do you become a musician and artist when you're doing it professionally? Is it linked to a career or something like that, or is it a mindset, or is it I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Is it? I don't know.
I know, Steve. Do you think you look like as a musician, that you are a musician? Do you feel like that?
No, not really. I feel like I play guitar, like you say. I feel like I play the guitar and I make some music, but I'm not a musician. It's a fun hobby that we've got, but I'm not a musician. But like I say, is it because I'm not? If I was professionally making money from it and making a living from it, would I then consider myself a musician? Probably would. I don't know. It's different people have got different ways of looking at it.
Do you define that by what you write as your occupation?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So Neil, with your guitar playing, do you, because we spoke about this, I think, on the last episode of Kapichat with James Shipsides, how when me and Steve got to a certain level of guitar playing, probably about 6 months after we started playing, about the age of 16, it was like we had no real desire to be brilliant at guitar. It was like, right, we can do enough now to play the songs we want to play, to write songs. Do you still strive to be a better guitarist?
Strive to be a better guitarist. I think so, in a way. I think for me, just going back to what the previous question is, I've never really considered myself a guitar player. I mean, I think I'm a very kind of average singer. I think my guitar playing is okay, but what I've always felt that I kind of excel at in that environment is songwriting and being a songwriter. So I think maybe not striving to be a better guitar player, but certainly be a better composer and more interesting songs. So I'm always striving to create something that I haven't done before. So I want to be a better songwriter and composer more than kind of guitar player, because I feel like I've almost sort of hit a peak now. In the last couple of years. I feel like I've kind of sort of plateaued. Is that the right word? Plateaued.
Yeah.
I sort of like, I mean, even now, to be honest, like, because I'm such a terrible learner, even when I'm playing whatever it is that I'm playing, I'm always thinking like, I think that's right. You know, I'm not like, yes, this is this. I kind of like, although I have a knowledge of it, I'm a little bit like, sort of I think that's how it's supposed to be done, and I like and I like how it sounds. But I guess because I've never really seen myself as a guitar player, I'm not really striving to be any better at the instrument. More like better, come up with better ideas and better songs, I think.
So do you think that you've written your best song yet?
I think a few years ago, when I was in my previous band called Columbia Necktie, I wrote a song called Arthur, which we've kind of taken, Ice Cream Headache have taken it, and we haven't played it for a while, but we have, and that is, I feel at the time when I wrote that, I felt like that was the best song I'd ever written.
Yeah.
So now when I write songs since then, I'm kind of comparing it. Is it as good as that? Does it make me feel how that song made me feel? So I don't think I've written a better song than that. So I think, if I remember what your question was, so I think my best song is still in front of me. Is that answer to
yeah,
the
that
question?
was the question. Yeah, it was a question with
Yeah,
it was a question with no thought behind it. Yeah.
I feel like the best song I ever wrote was Arthur, and I'm still trying to write a better song than that. So I do feel that my best song is still in front of me.
How would the Ice Cream Headache? Are you main songwriter, or is it all written as a band, or do you provide the songs for them to play, or is it kind of everybody putting their ideas in and jamming?
How it's worked in the past up to recently is, what I would do is I've actually just got my recording gear now, so I think it will probably go up a league. But what I used to do is just film myself playing the song on the guitar and singing like 3 or 4 minutes or whatever it is, and then send that idea to the other guys, and then I basically say, do whatever you want on bass, do whatever you want on guitar, and then when we get together we'll kind of sort of like morph it out. Like I never say the bass should go like this, or the guitar should go like, or the drum should go like this. I let them do whatever they want to do. And I think that is probably to do with what I was saying earlier on about being a slow learner. I can't play any covers that I can remember. You know, I've always been a terrible learner, and so it's always been important for me to be the principal main songwriter in a band. Not to do with ego, although maybe it is that. It's because I'm so, when people present another song to me, I'm like, oh my god, I've got to learn it. You know, and maybe that's partly why my guitar playing sounds like how it is, because I haven't really taken anything from other bits and pieces of other people's songs, so it sounds like how it sounds, because I'm kind of falling back on my flaws, really. But I'm always up for people suggesting ideas, and like, you know, I basically will try anything that anyone brings. So I'm happy to do it, you know.
Because Ice Cream Headache, it was, as your Instagram page shows. Oh, you can't see that. You were a 2-piece band. Are you officially a 3-piece band now? Because there was definitely another bloke on stage when we saw you last time.
Yeah,
we started off as a duo, and then we became a 3-piece, and then we went back to duo, and now we're a 3-piece now. And I think this 3-piece is probably the band that I've always wanted to be in. So I'm very precious that we all get along.
So what's your bass player's name? Because he's bloody good at playing the bass.
Tom Savage. Yeah,
Tom.
I'm so happy to have him on board. I'm really, you know, I'm really honoured and proud of the fact that he wanted to play in our band. You know.
Yeah,
when we saw him live. You what?
He had a reasonable amount of success with another band before yours, didn't he? Remember rightly? So somebody said, wasn't he in another band?
Yeah, I can't remember what they were called. I think it was Jesse James or Sup or something like that. One of those two bands, I think.
Can't remember. Yeah.
And you've still got Jules on the drums.
Yeah.
Hi, Jules.
Hi, Jules.
Cool. So have you guys got together lately in the last year at all?
I think, oh gosh. So I think our last rehearsal was either the last week of November or the first week of December, just before they decided that that was a cut-off point. That's the last we saw of each other, you know. But we've kind of kept each other busy, so to speak, by sending each other little clips and ideas and stuff like that, and trying to communicate regularly to keep the plate spinning.
So
You
you
still
you
got
still
new
plan?
songs coming along then?
Sorry?
You still do have new songs coming along then between you all?
Yeah, we've always got new ideas. Tom actually wrote one recently, and he sent it to me, and immediately I got really defensive and nervous because I was like, oh my god, I'm going to have to learn somebody else's song. But I played through it, and it's actually okay. And what I like about it is what I think the rest of our songs is that they oh no, it's just like a magician revealing his secrets here or something like this. I don't know if I should say it, but he's pointed out to me, and I'm like, that's right, man, that's the secret. It's the our songs actually maybe sound a lot more complicated than they are to play, and then like if you actually learn them, you'd be like, oh man, that's easy. And he's like, with that, like when he played it to me, I was like, oh no, someone else's songs, oh my god, how am I going to learn it, and then he kind of sent me the tab and stuff. I was like, oh, that's cool. Yeah, bring it on, we'll play it, you know.
Well, when we've watched you live, I'm a very simple musician. I can write and play in the very standard time signatures and all that kind of stuff. Watching you play, I just get my head gets lost as to how you actually do it, in all honesty, and remember it all, because I wouldn't remember it. I'd be doing all sorts of things. It would be a mess if I was playing that. But hats off to you. It's really good. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was looking at some of your Ice Cream Headache song titles earlier because I knew that they were quite interesting, but I'd forgotten exactly what some of them were. So I've written some of them down. We've got Teddy Ruxpin, who was a hero of mine as a child. Hairy Neck, Mamphibian, Evil Zookeeper, and Orgasmic Piss.
Right.
Which just to name but a few.
Yeah.
Your lyrics then. We've talked about your guitar playing and your songwriting. Do your lyrics mean something every single time? Because ours don't. That's why I'm asking. Yeah.
I guess it would depend. Sometimes, yeah. I mean, like Amphibian is actually a true story. It's I've got this big book of it's called English Country Eccentrics, and basically it's just like a sort of a lexicon or anthology of all these characters from, like, it's non-fiction. It's characters from about 200 years ago up to like whenever it was written, I guess a few weeks before it was written. And this one character was Lord Rokeby. That's it, Lord Rokeby. And he basically, you know, if you listen to the lyrics, listen to the song, he basically lived his life like that. He was some kind of eccentric guy. The name Mamphibian I made up just because I thought it sounded cool. And then I found out there was actually a comic called Mamphibian that came out in about 1967, I think. So, you know, if they ever do a movie, then, you know, we can provide the title for you. Yeah, so that was a true story. So that was a true story. But most of the time, I think it's just, I've only been in hospital twice in my life, and they were both for head injuries. So that might explain why I tend to write the lyrics that I tend to write. I write it because I'll be writing it and it will make me laugh and it will make me chuckle. And I've always been told that I've kind of got no filter when it comes to talking to people. So I just kind of just let it all hang out lyrically, you know. So sometimes physically as well, but you know, that depends on how I'm around.
Of hanging out physically, your other project of Cliff Hazzard.
Yes.
Yeah, there's definitely a theme to the lyrics on that album.
Well noticed. I'm glad you picked up on that. Yes.
Yeah. Tell us about it.
I mean, I could go into a kind of a long-winded. That might not be the right terminology to use, long-winded. But at the end of the day, I just thought it'd be funny. And I can't remember hearing or seeing an album that had that kind of lyrical content and told a story in that way. Yeah. And I just thought it would be really funny. I made myself laugh as I was writing the lyrics, and that's it really. I mean, I could give you a long kind of pretentious thing, but yeah, as a serial onanist, I believe that we all express ourselves in any way, any shape or form that we decide to do. But I just thought it was funny. That's the truth. No.
You can tell by the cover what the lyric theme is going to be. I think.
Yes.
It kind of. It's not hiding anything. It's
So I mean, thank you for showing that. I could just plug that and say there are still a few of those available if anybody requires, and it's absolutely free. And I'll even like sign it and personalize it for you. Just if they want to, if they want to email or message me, I will send you a free copy of that.
I recommend it. It's really good. Really good
Thank
album.
you very. I was surprised because I sent you that as a laugh, thinking I think it's funny, but then you're actually really complimentary about it. And I was like, oh, okay.
Love the sound of it. I love the recording of it. It's proper lo-fi. Like you say, you did it on it's all 4-track stuff, isn't it? So
yeah, tap on 4-track. I've actually just a couple of days ago made my own death metal album. I did it in about 2 hours, and everything's because I'm not a drummer. I don't have a drum kit, so I just sampled loads of drums and then just threw all the bass out, threw all the guitar out. I think the songs are about 1 minute to 2 minutes long. It's just I think there's about 10 songs on there. It's called Peanut Butter, and every song on it is like one called on a bagel, one called in a sandwich, one called on a toast. They're all kind of, because I love peanut butter, and I'm going to mix that tomorrow. So as soon as that's finished, I will send that to you also.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that. That'd be brilliant.
Brilliant. And we are going to collaborate as Das Kapitans with yourself, aren't we, Neil? I think we've agreed that already, have we?
I can't wait.
Yeah,
great.
I think between us, we can come up with something absolutely ridiculous. It might not be any good, but it will be ridiculous.
I'm counting on it.
Because we have a similar kind of way of writing a lot of the time. Half of our songs, I think, make us laugh, and the other half make us go, "Oh, it's quite good. That's quite good." That's the two type of songs we have. Funny and
it's funny when there's kind of like a crossover of that as well. When you kind of like the magical moments, like that's really ridiculously funny, but also it's really brilliant at the same time. When it comes together, it's like, oh, that sells on the back.
Yeah, people are gonna love this. No one's listening to it. Oh. Which brings us on to Steve mentioned that you've had a conversation with him before about the local music scene and how unsupported it is for what. I mean, we're writing some okay music. You're writing some fantastic music. What's happening locally?
Well, it is quite strange because I'll just re-quote myself what I said before. I think on the lines of something like I've always found it. I couldn't get my head around the fact that people are prepared to pay, 50 to 100 quid to see a band and travel across the country and spend another 100 quid on a good night out or whatever it is. It's like maybe 150 to 200 quid to go and see this band. And yet no one wants to come and see a local band for free at the end of their road. Is that just because we're shit? Is that why? Could that be the reason?
So something has changed, isn't it? Because I mean, on one of the chats we had the other day, we talked about when we were 15 and we grew up in this area. Have you always been from this area? Because you have, yeah. So similar to us then, but we're kind of more Norfolk side of where you are. But when we were 15, 16, there was gigs every weekend, punk gigs and indie gigs, just free gigs. As kids, we were going there too, and it was just so much going on. But people don't tend to go out now, do they, to see a band and just have a couple of drinks to see a couple of bands? It's got to be a huge fucking event, and it's got to, like you say, you got to go in the car and drive to Birmingham to stand in a fucking arena and pay 50 quid for the privilege to drink a £10 beer. But that's acceptable now. It seems like that's normal. And I don't know. We're I mean, before the lockdown and stuff, we were in conversation about Fuzz and the Felts putting on a night, organising a day, we're going to call it Fuzz Fest or something, to try and see if we could do something about it. And then COVID came and that knocked it on the head. But certainly it is something that we would love to be involved in, is just to get people more interested somehow. So if you can give us a hand with that, that would be great, because you've got a good face for it. You've got a lovely beard for it, and a head of hair that Steve is looking enviously at. You are the face.
You're making me blush a little bit. I'm really overwhelmed.
I can't see because you're so hairy. You are the face of the local revolution.
Yeah.
All right.
That's going to be your tagline.
Okay.
We're basically going to use you. I've decided.
Use me in any way you want. Just give me a
Thank
little
you.
bit of warning. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'll make sure my hands are warm first.
Okay. Good.
We haven't asked what you've had for tea. Have you had your tea yet, Neil? Have you had tea?
Yes, I had vegetarian bangers and mash and vegetables. It was okay. I made it. If someone else made it exactly the same, it would taste better because food always tastes better when someone else makes it, even if it's a sandwich. For me, anyway.
Yeah. See, we discussed food a
What about
little
you?
bit the other
What
day.
about you guys? What did you have?
Steve's announced his already before you came on. He had a which. Well, you reveal it, Steve.
Well, I had a chicken and chorizo paella. Paella.
Yeah.
Paella. Depends on how you want to pronounce it, but that was good.
Now,
Is it nice?
Neil, you're going to be
Yes.
impressed with me. I think we briefly touched on a conversation around being vegan the other day via text. I've never been vegan. I enjoyed eating animals for many years. However, recently I've been thinking about being a bit more healthy because, like many people, I got a bit chubby around the edges during lockdown. And when I get chubby, I don't look cool. I look like a big moomin, like a big pale moomin, which isn't good. So anyway, been looking at some healthier options. So tonight I had falafels in a whole wheat pita bread and salad.
Sounds
You
great. Was it
approve?
nice?
You approve of that? Is that all
Sounds
right?
lovely. Sounds
Thank you.
lovely.
Steve, do
I
you
would
have-
never judge.
Uh,
Sorry?
I like falafel. There's a great stall in Camden where you can get some good falafel from. Me and Heidi have had that plenty of times. That's good.
Yeah.
We have actually got some in the fridge, but I can't get excited about having it, to be honest, for some reason. I always enjoy it though, but
Steve, Neil, we discussed as well that you do like your food as well. You said you're talking bollocks. You said you put on weight. Look at you.
Yeah, I know. I think I'm probably holding it in actually. There was a stage. I think it was kind of the lockdown that just like I think I ate too much and drank too much. And I actually saw the Avengers movie where Thor gets really fat. I saw him in that movie. I was like, oh fuck, that's me. That is actually me. You look like me in every way. And I was like, fuck, that's me. And I was watching back a few months ago some video recordings of Ice Cream Headache from rehearsing, and I'm a real fat bastard. And I was like, oh, I can't have that. So then I thought, I have only recently lost a stone. There was a point where I was creeping up, but I just, unfortunately, it makes me really sad, and I feel like I want to get a violin, but I just kind of cut out beer and crisps, and those are two of my most favorite things on the planet next to peanut butter. And I just cut those out, and I was like, oh, this is making a difference. So that's all I did.
Wow, simple. Because you're young. It's easy when you're young.
Good.
How old are you now?
Okay.
I am 36 years old. So it's weird. I always like hesitate when I say that, because when I was like 17, I thought, when I'm 30, I'm going to be so grown up and such an adult and so mature. And like, I'm like, when is that actually going to hit? You know.
And now look at us. We've got a 40-year-old, a 39-year-old, and a 36-year-old behaving like children on a video call that's going to be uploaded to YouTube. Brilliant.
I think, if anything, I've regressed, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm shitting myself at the minute as well. Yeah.
I saw some pictures the other day, Neil, and I understand that you were quite the character in Greece back in the day.
Yeah, you have been having a good old look, haven't you?
I'm doing some spying. What character were you?
I was Kaniki, actually. I think that's what sort of made me think like, oh, I can stand on a stage and act like an idiot with loads of people looking at me, if for one. And I was really confident for like the first week of that, until one of my school friends turned around to me and said, "Did you realise throughout that whole entire performance your flies were open?" And that kind of knocked me down a little bit, but you know.
I was in one showing of Greece at high school, and I was a post at the back.
Oh, right.
Did it well.
Did you? Is there photos of that?
No, because it was that good. They didn't want to. They just thought they wanted to live in the moment with that particular scene. You see, so they didn't bother taking any photos of it because
Yeah, it's a bit like a beautiful sunset. Like you take a picture of it, and it's not as good as it was.
No,
in real life.
exactly.
Yeah, I understand that.
It's not going to do it justice. You see, so the memories that people have of that post, it's just it was perfect. You know, it's why tarnish it with photos. It's just.
I bet you were the best post that has ever posted in the whole entire world. I bet you were so good at it.
Well, it has been said. It has been said.
I can believe it. I can believe it.
Can you quickly recreate it now for us, Steve? The post. Yeah.
You good, right?
Yeah, I saw that.
Oh, you're back.
Brilliant.
Sorry, I actually thought. Oh, no, right, you're there. All right, I thought
It was
it was
brilliant,
actually a
wasn't it?
post then.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was so
No,
good.
it's actually it's him. Amazing.
Yeah.
We're gonna get kicked off this call now, but so we're just gonna cancel it and then we're gonna send another invite, all right? Because we've not finished with you. Is that all right?
Okay.
Part 2.
So welcome back. I am just back on the bus out. Actually, I'm going to meet Steve for a drink at the beer garden.
I've gone out to
Neil,
the beer garden. It's just too hot in there. It's too, yeah.
Neil, you're welcome to join us when we finish this if you want. If you want to jump on the bus.
Loads of seats. Look,
Good. I might go on my bike actually, if that's all right.
perfect.
Push cam. Use whatever transport you need to get there. It's absolutely fine.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I feel like we know you a lot better now, Neil, than we did about 45 minutes ago, which is nice. That does warm my heart quite a lot.
I probably have a tendency to overshare, so sorry about that.
No,
Right.
Perfect amount of sharing, actually. I've been thinking you are sharing the perfect amount. It's really worked well. But we need to know what happens next. You're 36. What's coming next?
In terms, what do you mean, like?
Well, sorry,
my
not
life?
literally right now for the evening. In terms of with music, with your life, what do you imagine it's going to be like, and what are your actual plans?
Well, it's funny because the older that I get, the kind of more happier and content I am with life. I feel like I kind of know who I am now. I think we all go through a stage in our 20s where we're like that definition thing, which is when I came up with that kind of philosophical thing I mentioned earlier about don't self-analyze. So I feel like certainly my 30s have definitely been my best years so far, in terms of like groundedness and comfortable in my own skin and kind of realization what's important, the priorities in life. And I think I don't really have any sort of massive long-term plans. It's funny because when I was younger, all I wanted to be was like be in a band, play at the Willow Festival, play at the beer festival, make an album and do some gigs. And I'd done all that by the time I was 27, you know.
Mhm.
So I was like, oh, okay, so what's next? I think I'm just gonna carry on doing music as a passion and a fun thing. And as soon as it's not fun anymore and I don't enjoy it, then I think I'll call it a day. You know, I don't think that I would ever do the covers band. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's just because I'm not very good at learning other people's songs, and I can't remember unless it's something that I sort of wrote that kind of is something I would naturally do with my muscle memory. Singing as well, I would struggle to play other people's songs, and I'm not into acoustic either. Again, like no insult to people who are, but it's not for me. I think my fingers are too thin and weak to be like, you know, playing chords and stuff like that. So I'll just keep on making music either as a band or a solo artist until I run out of ideas, I think.
Do you do gigs as a solo artist?
No, a long time ago between bands, I did an acoustic thing and it terrified me. I really didn't feel very comfortable at all, like being up on stage just on my own. And so I was like, it's either a band or nothing. The only thing I do as a solo kind of perform is the stuff that you might have seen when I wear a mask, and I like a monkey ape mask thing, Hazzard thing, and that purely came about just because we weren't rehearsing, we weren't doing any gigs and stuff like that, and I needed to do something. So, and the songs are like 45 seconds, a minute long, so that's just a separate thing I can do just for a little bit of performance, you know, refresh myself about how to kind of perform, so to speak. But I don't think I'd ever do anything like solo on my own.
No. Something that I meant to ask earlier, actually, when we were talking about being in a band and stuff, and you being the singer as well. I guess it applies to anyone in a band. Do you feel like a different person when you're on stage to what you do, like just sitting at home? Do you noticeably notice you feel like a different person, or you have more confidence, or you just you?
Yeah, I think I'm probably applying a little bit of that now, to be honest. I think I feel like from my experience, there's kind of two people in life. There's really shy, insecure people, and people who are really good at pretending not to be that. So, I mean, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but that's from my experience. So, I can't remember what the question was. What was the question?
It was about being on stage. Are you?
Yes.
Are you different? Are you aware of it?
Yeah, I think like I said, I think I'm probably doing that a little bit now, you know, kind of being a sort of a different person than I would be if I sort of like, I take my disguise off, I take the glasses off and my hat, and the false beard comes off and tie my hair back and stuff like that. But it is strange because although I was talking about the sort of shy and insecureness, I actually feel more comfortable on stage, and I feel more comfortable talking to you now than like when I'm not doing that. So although I feel like you're kind of putting on an act, so to speak, I do feel more comfortable being that thing, whatever it is, than not being that thing. I think that Peter Sellers once said that he gets more joy out of playing different characters, because when he's not being a character, there's very little of his personality. He's quite a dull person, so he actually gets more out of doing that. And maybe I'm that way too, possibly. Like, compare myself to Peter Sellers, come on. But yeah, I'm kind of more comfortable being on stage and feeling alive, and I feel like you're kind of connecting to something, like talking to you now, like in this environment and being on stage. I definitely feel like it's an act, or it's a character that you put on, you know.
Yeah,
do you find that you two as well?
I do, definitely. When in that last gig we did, the snuff gig at Mama Liz in Stamford, if I was in that situation and not playing, I would have been in the corner of the room and kind of away from everybody, really, to be honest. But being on stage and knowing everybody is there enjoying what you're doing, I was a completely different person. I think I am every time I go on there.
Absolutely.
A lot more confident.
I think that sometimes that can come across to certain people. I certainly, from my point of view, is thinking, oh look, he's really standoffish and he's too cool to talk to. Where actually, like, I'm really nervous. Don't talk to me because I'm really nervous. You know, it's that, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I stand off like that because if somebody comes and talks to me, I'm very, very boring. I've got literally nothing to say, and it's so that's why I'm kind of standing away from people in a crowd. But when you're on stage, it's completely different. You can just hurl abuse out if you want to. You can do whatever you want to.
Yeah, I
but
think
it does give some kind of, it does go on. I was going to say, it gives you some kind of power, doesn't it, being on stage? Like,
It does, yeah, absolutely does.
Brings you up. Yeah.
I think by doing this, by being on stage, by doing stupid YouTube videos, it's almost like you've got permission to really be yourself, though. Even though sometimes you feel like you're being someone else, I think it's actually the other way around, and it gives you permission to actually be yourself, and not the person who feels a bit awkward in the pub, not the person who's being sensible at work. It's like, I feel like this is really me. The person on stage twatting about and swearing, that's kind of me, and that's where I've got permission to do it. So I think that's why we feel most comfortable doing it, because it's actually
great point. I think you're right there. Actually,
we're actually being ourselves in these situations rather than what anyone expects us to be. Maybe.
I think that's right. Yeah, there's a lot of truth in that.
Yeah, because I think we are kind of similar, kind of the three of us. A little bit kind of well, I don't know if socially awkward is the word, but certainly I'm the same as Steve, and would struggle with conversation. If I walked into a pub with loads of people and someone started a conversation, I'd be thinking, "Fucking hell, what do I say?"
Telltale sign for me. My fingers would be tapping on the side of the table or on the bar. Going, I need to go."
Yeah, that's why I really regret the fact that I don't have a swingy chair, because I thought if I've got a swingy chair, I can kind of like with my nerves, I can kind of rock it. But I've got a real solid chair, so like I'm struggling a bit. But I feel you've made me feel very much at ease and very comfortable. So thank you very much for that.
It's when you're with someone, when you can talk about kind of shared experiences in music, I think it really just calms you. I think it does me anyway. It really makes me feel calm to hear someone else talking about picking up a guitar for the first time or being on stage. It's a real kind of comfort zone thing, and it's really nice to do, which is why actually we're on episode 4 of this now. And at the start, it's a ridiculous idea to be us going on YouTube and talking to people, but whether anyone's watching or not, we're enjoying ourselves.
Yeah,
so, that's the most important thing. I think that's the main goal. You know, as long as you're having fun and enjoying it, then that's
Well, I hope you have enjoyed this, Neil. It's been an absolute pleasure getting Yeah.
Carry on.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure getting to know you. And we will continue this blossoming friendship outside of this Zoom call and make some incredible songs.
Thank you. I just want to say that one album or whatever it is that you're doing every month, I really, really admire that. I think that's such a cool idea. So I think all power to you for doing that. And also thank you so much for having me in your little Das Kapichat thing as well.
No worries. And we'll on one of the next albums, one of our collaborations is going to be on one of the albums this year. So that'll be really cool to have you on there as well.
I'd be honoured. Be great.
So all of your amazing stuff is on the usual places: Facebook, Instagrams. Anywhere particular you want to direct people to who managed to get this far into the interview?
No, those will do.
Is your music on Spotify and all that, or on Bandcamp or anything?
I think some of it is. I'm not very tech savvy when it comes to that sort of stuff, so I might ask you to help me.
Yeah, we'll have a look for it. We'll send some links out if it is.
Yeah. Cool. Well, this is the bit where we do the fake goodbye and we wave to the interview, and then we do an actual goodbye afterwards.
Okay.
Fake goodbye.
You want me to go?
Bye.
You can if you make it really real. Yeah.
Bye.
You can walk off. Bye. I'm getting off.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.
I'm still here, just off camera. Yeah.
Das Kapichat, das Kapichat, das Kapichat.